So does Joe Flacco come back as the backup?
I think they do want him back. It's obviously too early. He doesn't know. He wants to play. And when you saw his play, it's really hard to believe that nobody even called the guy. I didn't follow him.
I think some of it had to do with the fact that because he was playing with the Jets, but the Jets offensive line made him look worse than he really was, and he needed a little bit more protection and a little bit more semblance. The Browns are a little bit more structured than the Jets offense over the past few years, and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. In fact, I was witness in the second game of the 2022 season when the Browns blew they were ahead 30-17 with less than 2 minutes to go after the 2-minute warning.
Yes.
And they blew a coverage, and Flacco threw an 84-yard dime to Corey Davis.
Yeah.
And then he threw the touch. They got the onside kick and won 31-30, hit Garrett Wilson with another great. And you're like, that was the last I saw him. And then I saw that he got benched and they went with Zach Wilson. I got it, that they wanted the young guy and stuff. But then, I never really followed it, that I thought he retired or something. And then when he got here, he said, I was out in the yard throwing passes to my kids and I thought I could still play, but nobody called. He never got a call at all until the Browns called him after Watson was put on injured reserve to come in and have a tryout. And it was on November 20th. They signed him to the practice squad. And he said, it's the first time I've ever had a tryout, and it was just, his story. But he's very thankful to the Browns for the opportunity. He loved it here. He thought he was going to be reviled, and yet he was treated extremely. He was like he couldn't go anywhere without, being the toast of the town.
Yep.
And I really think he appreciates it. His kids appreciate it because they knew who he was. They never remembered him playing when they were babies.
No.
Baltimore. And so, all things being equal, I think if his best opportunity is a backup, it would be come back to Cleveland.
Absolutely.
He knows he's coming back here, to be a backup. But I don't know. Brissett, they wanted him back, but he was offered $8 million to go to Washington, and I think he thought he was going to be the starter. And then they decided to go with Sam Howell, or even if it was thought it was going to be competition. He thought, he could win that. So all things being equal, he doesn't know. The Browns don't know.
Okay.
I just can't see a team saying, Joe, we want you to be our starting quarterback. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's 39, but a lot of teams would like him maybe as a backup or to mentor a young quarterback or something like that. And all things being equal, he might say, well, yeah, I'll take that because there'll be a better chance to play. I don't know. But I think the general manager is on record saying they would like him back. And I'm sure, and Kevin Stefanski said they had a very, very good exit meeting. So I don't know what'll happen. And somebody could just blow it away and say, well, we don't have the quarterback right now. I would think whoever doesn't have a quarterback would be looking to draft one, and in today's world, usually that means they play, right off the bat.
Yep.
So, I don't think that it's going to be a money thing or something like that. He truly has enough money.
Sure.
He said he hadn't even checked his bank account to see if he
must be nice.
When you add things up there, but he's in a different stage of his life. He would tell stories, and he said, like his 11-year-old, would is really into football, and he'd get home, go to the hotel, and his son would, how come you didn't throw it to Elijah Moore? I mean, he's on my fantasy, Dad. You got to be kidding me, or something like that. You could just
it's a different
see
time.
Why he's relishing this so much.
Absolutely.
And when his kids are all into it, they're all buying Browns gear or they're asking for it for Christmas, when that's your arch rival that he played with and made his career with. So it's just, was a great story.
Yeah.
But I think that if they can't get him back, they will definitely try to get somebody that's been there, done that, and not turn it over to, because now Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the plan all along was to draft him, let him sit a year, and then be the backup. But then he didn't really get to play, or he got hurt a couple times. So you really don't know what you have in him. And I don't think you can do that again go into the season with DeShaun Watson and Thompson-Robinson. I think they learned their lesson the hard way by not having somebody ready to step in.
Yeah, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of Joe Flaccos out there, or Brownings, or even Dobbs. But Dobbs, as you can see, this is the difference between backups and starters. There are some backups that are good in spot roles, but the longer you play, the more the warts come out. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, this guy's not a starter. He's just a backup that's being thrust into a starter's role. But, yeah, it's not easy to find. And when you can get somebody like the Browns did in Flacco, hopefully, if you're a Browns fan, I'm sure you want him back.